Okay, this is a quick channel update on the Kal Kat #1 channel, Channel 1, Kal Kat Show channel, Season 9. Not much on there. It's just from reviews, Season 9 over on the other one. Working on the script collection, market cards, consulting on the what was 7 books, then was whittled down to 6, then was jammed together as 3, and is now 5 of the Chimera saga. What happened? You probably don't need to know all the details of that, but this is the legitimate release of Silly Trek, the whole Silly Trek saga, with all of the names changed to protect the copyright. All of the things changed to protect it. All of the stories and situations distanced enough from the Star Trek roots that it's considered a parody of Star Trek, sort of a Star Trek spoofy sci-fi parody. So that it could be legit. It could go out as a Star Trek parody spoof, and you could still make some money on it because it's a spoof, and it's not close enough to Paramount Star Trek that anyone would say you're just ripping. No, it's completely different. So the Star Trek story works as a parody called Starship Locations. Sort of merged and mixed. Originally, what happened is Silly Trek. Well, we went over all of that before, but Silly Trek was a role-playing series when I was in high school, and Mark Shards and I were in high school, and it was the next generation meeting the original Star Trek, but not the original Star Trek from the 60s, the original Star Trek from the movies, because there was some continuity to it, so it was like 2288 meeting 2364, basically. And I took those pieces out and I put them in order of when they appear in the story, and that's one of the books. First season, second season of TNG. The next one is kind of after TNG, 2372 and 3. Yeah. The other ones are a little later, 2370, late 2370s, 2380s for the other one, and then mid 2380s for the Chimera, and then later on for 2380s to 2390s current series. You don't need to know all that information because when the role-playing live blog game starts, we're not going to use really any of the Cillians or the Overlords or anything, or the Cute or anything like that. We might use the Cute, but not the Overlords and the Cillians. That is strictly Mark Shards and Kal Kat and in-house people. We can do that because we understand it, but no one else will. So these storybooks are written so they're legitimately part of the canon and aren't confusing. They're written as a sci-fi series of stories. They're not all connected necessarily. They're sort of like the Pocket Books contest years ago, where they had different Star Trek fans could write in and do like a contest thing. I entered that too, along with the Star Trek one, along with the other things, the Strange New Worlds. It's kind of like that, in that it's a collection of like fan fiction and short stories all connected together. If they happen to be in the 2260s, that's where they are. The 2270s, that's where they are. 2300s, that's where they are. And that's all you need to know about that. That's when they took place. A lot of time travel themed stuff. I tried to cut down on that a little bit. There's no Starship Enterprise in it. That was one of the things we cut out. There's about 90 pages of that. That wasn't necessary because it doesn't go anywhere. The show was canceled in 2005, and then nothing happens. It is the origin of the Misfit Planet in a way. The Zuris and stuff, or the Teddy Ruxpin character that's in there. There's this bizarre destruction of the dolls that's in there, but you don't need to know what they were doing 300 years ago. That's not important, so don't worry about it. We don't need to see the Enterprise part of it to know that the other stuff happened. We don't need to see the Starship Chimera going back to 2369 to rescue the flyer. We merely need to show them actually in 2369 getting rescued. So yeah, That's all we need to see. We need to see it from their perspective, not from the perspective of the other ship. That's what I had to figure out. That's what's been figured out. The other ones, not so much. The Chimera's trip through space and time is not as important as who they encounter. So the story's actually who they encounter from their perspective. So the ship keeps popping in and out of time through the timeline. Kind of in the same way Quantum Leap used to. And a little bit of Space-Time Eye, the space series thing that is not yet out. But a little bit of that too. This is almost a cousin to that, as if it met Star Trek meets On Location, met the Fictional Adventures, and met the other one, the stoner comedy thing. As if they met, and On Location met Star Trek, or On Location met Space-Time Eye, or whatever. A little bit of Starcrackers in there, but not too much. There is an early version of Clerk in there. So yeah, they're in a sense, yeah, they're literally as Clark is in there, but as Lucky Clark. So, but yeah, it's not Starcrackers either. It's not a spin-off of that. It's kind of its own thing. It's an anthology of books and stories and series. It might be remind you of Star Trek Discovery that's coming out, but it's not. It's not at all. I'm not sure how the new stuff will work when that comes out. The movie, however, being closer to production, we've been on hiatus again for the Chimera movie. I don't think this is going on the Chimera channel, though. This is going to be on the #1 channel. And basically, I'm ready to go, but Mark's Cards, as always, has had a lot of job stuff recently where it's busy and everything and can't stop to do his... He's the director and the producer of the movie and one of the main stars, so we can't really do anything without him at this point. The last 4 or 5 scenes of the movie that make the final act, the rest of the final act, I should say, the planet is already filmed for the most part. The rest of the final act, after the planet, they go to the Voyager, then they go to the Continuum, then they go to flashback for maybe 10 minutes on a certain ship that's 51 years old now in space. Go visit that. The classic Trek. Yes, it's the Enterprise. And then they go on to the finale, where they meet the Kirk God in the end of the movie. Yes, definite maybe on Silicon Valley Comic-Con 2, which is the current one. We did not go last year. We're going this year. We're going to go. We're going to be at that. So that'll be cool, because William Shatner will be there. I don't think that we're going to be able to talk to him, though. That would be cool, because that would tell him about Kirk God in my fan film and see what he says. And, of course. Now, if we could get a clip of him saying that, that would be awesome, because that would kind of be like an endorsement by William Shatner. But that's probably not going to happen. But at least we're going to... But many of the Next Generation people will be there, so it's kind of a 30th anniversary Next Generation thing. I think Riker and Troy and Worf and a bunch of people. But yeah, or should I say Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis and Michael Dorn, all of which I've seen at conventions before. But we want to do it again. First Trek convention in some time. It's coming out here, and we can't miss that. So yes. And would it not be cool if we had a Starship Locations live blog from that convention? That would be awesome. That would be March or so. But the movie is officially, there was a trailer released, the Chimera movie. It was released on Super Bowl Sunday. And in the official trailer, they changed up the dates on it and sped it up a little bit. Put in some like hyperactive song Brazil from the Blair Witch parody just to put the credits. It's not the real music, I just threw that in there. It's a fake cover of it. And threw that in there, and so I did that. And yeah, the other channel, yeah. So I put up the trailer, and I said at the end, coming in 2017. I think I said spring 2017, at the end. So yeah, spring 2017 for the movie, and it says Starship Locations presents Chimera. Starship Locations Chimera. a Star Trek fan film. So that's what it says. It has a big disclaimer that says it's not official. CBS and Paramount had nothing to do with it. It's a parody. It's fair use. Use of action figures from Playmates, AMT models, Art Asylum models, that kind of thing in the film. I would have put 503E on there, which is the nonprofit. However, it's not even a company, so why put that on there? It's not a real company. So apparently the Kal Kat channels, On Location Cats, blog channels, all of them got together and are trying to finish this movie because the other two ones kind of went under, and they're to finish the movie. But yeah, that's happened before. But since it's all out of pocket, yes, that tends to happen, which is why there is no. That's kind of one of the reasons there's no game yet. It's because there's no content yet. So there you go. Anyway, so you haven't missed it. It just isn't out yet. The people that were jumping the gun on who was going to sign on board as well. You can't just have a game with nobody in it. Just like, but yeah, there is the Starship Locations thing. I think it's going to be more like a blogging thing, the game later, and it has nothing to do with the movie. The movie is kind of its own thing. It was sort of set in 2388. It was set like 5 years ago, actually, and it's all like, you know, and it's so yeah, it's its own thing. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great nod to the TNG era, and to throw back to Kirk and Spock and crew, as you can tell in the trailer. Apparently, they go on the holodeck at one point. See the Kirk and crew on the holodeck. But yeah, but there's more than the holodeck. There's more, and it is at this point not a Valentine to the fans. At this point, it's an Easter card to the fans. But yes. So boldly go, where none dared go before the spring. So there is my update on the channel, on the Kal Kat channel thing. There's not much on the Chimera site. As soon as we film more, we'll know more. It's just not much really going, other than the writing of the book. The show's Bible, I guess it is. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's my report on the channel update in brief.